Well, hello there, and welcome back to another video. Now, I wanted to make this video because so many of us are feeling a little bit unfulfilled. We're feeling a bit directionless. We're lacking some meaning. We're lacking some purpose in our life. And I was in that exact same position 2 or 3 years ago when I had a great life on paper, a good job, good money coming in, house, car, great friends, health, all the things we want on paper, right? But yet we're still feeling unfulfilled. And that's because so many of us are living an easy life. Now, I'm not saying we need to go out and create unnecessary problems and challenges and all of that kind of stuff. But when we live an easy life, we're playing life on safe mode. It's as simple as that. We're not seeing the full potential of ourselves, what we can do, what we can achieve. We're not putting ourselves in awkward or uncomfortable situations, which is where we know true growth and experiences come from. If we're always playing life on safe mode and trying to just minimize as much stress as possible, which of course is a good thing to do, but you're just going to kind of let the months roll into the years and the years roll into the decades, and eventually you'll just wake up. And I kind of had that wake up call at 32, and I'm like, why do I feel so unfulfilled? And it's because I was playing life on safe mode. So I want to run you through 5 reasons why living an easy life is not necessarily a good life. So first of all, growth as a person comes from challenge. So I was commuting into my tech job, which I've been doing for 12 years. Yes, it was a different company, different product, teams to sell to, etc. Going to different gyms, but it was still the same kind of stuff, right? And so I wasn't challenging or doing different things. So I wasn't growing as a person. My friendship groups, I was lucky enough to have a few good friendship groups, friends all across the country, etc. But I was just socializing with them and kind of going to the same places with them and not really interacting with other age groups or other nationalities or other types of people in different careers, etc. So I wasn't growing as a person. First things is that growth only comes from challenge. So how I started to grow as a person is me personally. I took a career break and I threw myself in at the deep end and did some solo traveling into South America and around the rest of the world eventually through the year, and that really got me out of my comfort zone. I was having to go into hostels and socialize with people, which, like I said, I hadn't really done before because I was always kind of hanging out with my mates. I was going to uncomfortable places, cities, rural destinations, places that don't speak my language, etc. Right, so that was my kind of first dip into kind of getting out of my comfort zone and challenging myself, and I really, really thrived off it. You feel great after you've done that. Second is meaning is often forged through hardship. So for me, again, as I had a good job, I had good money coming in, I'd already kind of ticked off the life to-do list with a house, a car, etc. I've always appreciated money and certain lifestyles and all the nice things in life. However, you don't really appreciate it until you kind of take yourself out of that environment. And I'm not saying that we need to go and live a completely different lifestyle and live on a completely different budget and that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is that meaning comes from doing different things. And I feel like I have a sense of meaning now because I'm doing a completely different career. I'm earning at the moment probably like 10% of what I used to, and it's a completely different time of my life, which is forging a lot more meaning, a lot more purpose. Third point is ease can lead to stagnation. So again, playing life on safe mode, you're becoming complacent, you're becoming stagnant, your life is becoming stagnant, right? There's no need necessarily to go out and challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone. And so when we have too much ease in our life, that means, of course, we're not doing all those things, right? We're not growing as a person. And I can probably say that I have grown more in these past year or two, starting my business and taking my career break with solo traveling. I've grown more in these last 2 years than I probably did in a decade, because again, I had the comforts of my job, the comforts of my friends, the comforts of my same familiarities. What else have I got on my little list? 4. Okay, 4th, fulfillment requires engagement. What do I mean by that? Well, when I was living an easy life, again, it was passive, right? It was living on safe mode. It was just going through the motions. It was coasting. Getting a deep sense of fulfillment, I feel like I'm in it, like I'm embracing it. If I'm going to fail at something, I'm going to fail at something. If I'm going to look like an amateur, I'll look like an amateur. But it's happy in myself and getting that deep sense of fulfillment that I'm willing to put myself out there. You know, I'm willing to fail because I know I'm going to learn for it. I know I'm going to grow for it. I know I'm going to be better off on it from the long run. Yes, it might be difficult for the short term, but you have to believe that it's better for the long term. And so you get a deep sense of fulfillment when you're engaging in, whether that's a new relationship or a different type of friendship, or going to a different country, or of course starting a new career or a new job, whatever it might be. 5th, and arguably the most important, is you appreciate joy after the struggle. The same concept alludes to, you know, if you get given something, you know, it's nice for a bit, but if you earn something, it feels so much better, right? Because you've earned it, you've put in the work, you've invested time into it. And when you struggled through something, you've put yourself out your comfort zone a little bit, you've got uncomfortable, you've got into an awkward conversation or whatever it might be, even if the result wasn't that great, you still feel so much better for actually going through that struggle, right? Instead of just sitting on your sofa and not going out and doing whatever, right? You feel that sense of guilt if you do that, or I do anyway. So there's an immense sense of joy after you struggle through something, a challenge, a problem, an awkward situation, whatever it might be. So yeah, just to recap, you know, the way that we look at life of wanting security is great, but that's where so many of us then start to coast through life and we get complacent, we played life on safe mode, etc. I've been there, so many of us have been there. And like I said at the start of this video, I think that's the reason why so many of us are confused, to why we feel unfulfilled, you know, why we don't feel as happy as we think we should be. And that's because we do need some challenge in our life. You know, we do need some problems to overcome. We do need some time out of our comfort zone, etc. So I'm going to stop the video here, so I'll stop babbling on, but hopefully that was useful.